is my Tiger with my camo ski. For the straps I used Tamiya, no, not Tamiya, Vallejo dark green, and it worked really well with that new airbrush. And it was the first time that I made my camo ski free-handed, and I could say I'm a bit proud of mine. It is better than I thought, and I'm really happy with the result. So then the next step is to paint all the small parts like the handles and the entrenching tool and everything else. And by the way, I will make my fire extinguisher red. So, see ya. This is the next stitch of my Tiger. I painted all small parts like the entrenching tools and the handlebars and anything else, and I also gloss coated the tank. And yes, my fire extinguisher over here is red. You often listen to the internet, or you see on the internet the question were the fire distinguishers red, or were they camouflaged as well? When they delivered it the first time and the crew became them, they are normally camouflaged. But when the crew used them and they dump the old one and get a new one from a depot or something else, they are often in the original color from the civilian versions. So it is good possible to get a red one. Also, the fire extinguishers which were hidden inside of the inside of the tank or the lorry or whatever are red. Maybe this crew got his fingers on a red one which were originally inside of a tank or inside of a car and mounted it on the outside. Okay, I also made a small decent wash on my mufflers. I gave them a red or a reddish wash to let them look rusty. Later they become some black stains as well for the exhaust fumes. The holes on the covering of the exhaust are also red for rust stains, and nearly all edges of the tank were rescribed with a very soft pencil, a B6 pencil. I'm sorry for that little break, my neighbor was ringing at the door. So, where was I? I think the corners, the edges. The edges were rescribed with a black pencil, a very soft one, a B6 one, to give it a more metallic look. When you hold it right on the light, or in the light, you can see a metallic shine on the edges. Yeah, I also have to rework the damage on the side, on these flaps. I have to make them a bit rusty as well, but this will come when the washer, when I start with the washers. The towing cables are mounted at the moment, and I also forgot to mount a handle on this hatch. I have to rework that as well. But that's it at the moment. The next step is to add the decals and then seal the decals, and then I start with pin washers and filters and everything else. Okay then, see you in the next video. Good morning. When the tiger entered the battlefield in 1942 and in Tunisia and in Leningrad, there was no weapon which can compete with the tiger. The tiger, with his powerful armor and the powerful 88mm gun, were able to fight against whole regiments. Just a few tigers were able to fight against them. The Brits in Tunisia were the first who fought against the tigers, and as I said, whole regiments ran against the tiger, and as long as the tiger has enough ammunition, the tiger were able to fight and fight and fight, and the Brits have no chance again. Only with lucky shots, like on the 131. So the crews of the tank regiments became very scared about the tiger. Whenever they heard the name tiger, they become very shaky, and they retreated earlier from the battlefield as necessary, or often as necessary, especially the unexperienced troops from overseas, like the Americans and the Britons. It was a bit different on the Eastern Front. The Russians used very early, very powerful guns, like the 122mm gun on some SUs, or the 85mm gun on the KV and on the T-34. So, but they have to get very close to the tiger. But on the Western Front, the Allies has bigger problems with the tiger, as long there were no airplanes. When the Brits and the Americans became the air superiority, the life for the tiger crews changed a lot, because they were often attacked from the air. And also later in the war, when the 17-pounder, the British 17-pounder was entered the war, and also the 90mm from the Americans, the tiger armor was then not too thin, but they were able to penetrate the armor. But to that day, the armor of the tiger were not penetratable from far away. So, as I said, the crews of the tank regiments from the British regiments and from the American regiments often retreated too early. And whenever somebody was screaming, "There's a tiger," they become very scared, and the morale was sunk a lot. Often they were not fighting against the tiger. They were the Panzer IV with their side skirts and the upper armored turret. Looked from far away a bit like a tiger, like a shrunk tiger, a bit smaller. And also the unexperienced troops often don't know how a tiger looks like. So often they fought against other tigers, because the German army hasn't got a lot of them. They were hard to produce, it took a lot of time to produce them and to move them to the front, because they were so heavy. And they often has problems with the technique. They often broke down before they were able to fight properly on the front, because there was a lot of bridges in front of on the East and the Western Front in the Netherlands, for example, where the tiger wasn't able to cross rivers or something else. So tiger phobia. That's it. I hope you liked the small introducing of the tiger phobia, or the small history of the tiger phobia. And my little tiger is nearly complete. I have to paint the figures, and I will show you the figures on the next video, and then the review video, and then my tiger is done. Okay, then I wish you a nice Sunday, because today is Sunday, it's a sunny Sunday, and we will see us on the next video. Bye.